is just fantastic.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Omegon 2 Electric Boogaloo. Today I'd like to talk about somebody called Jennifer M. Becerra. Becerra with an M silent, I don't know, it's capitalized, you're a convict. I actually don't care. I have on my main channel spoken about Jennifer before, and I do believe it happened within the exhibition of stupid people. I just can't remember which one, but if I do find it, I will link it down below so you can of course go check it out. At the time with that particular video, because I know I've definitely discussed this before, she had been found guilty, but because I can't find it, I'm going to retell the story here. I know, dull stuff, but I did promise an update to her story, and I am a Cthulhu kin of his word. On the Encounters dating website in October of 2015, Jennifer met a man, a businessman. The relationship they had was on-off until February of 2018, where the businessman, who we're just going to call John Doe, called it off and was done. In June of 2018, Jennifer had asked John Doe for £20,000 because, and this is what she claimed, John Doe had promised her money to start her own fashion business. This business centered around importing baskets from Morocco and selling them on eBay and Amazon. John Doe, though, indicated he did not have that kind of money, and he also did not believe it to be sensible to be in a business relationship together, so he instead offered her 1/20th of what she needed, apparently, £1,000, on the condition that she did not ask for money again. Jennifer took this like a champ by declaring this to be demeaning, horrible, and a mean thing to say, so texted him back through a shaking fit. She then went on to accuse John Doe of being a narcissist who had been taking but not giving, and using her home in Clapham, which she shared with her son, as a bed and breakfast throughout their relationship. Jennifer then decided, because she wasn't exactly savvy on the gentleman's agreement, to Google a verbal contract, to then decide afterwards that she was going to make a claim with a verbal agreement. Later on in that year though, Jennifer had clearly not gotten what she wanted, so decided to escalate this with a series of menacing emails to John Doe, threatening to press the button and send details of their sex life and allegations of abuse to his children if he did not follow through on his promise to fund her business. That sounds like blackmail. Interesting. On Christmas Eve in 2018, she emailed again to say, "I'm going to send a copy of my last email to the company you represent and your children." Further writing, "You destroyed my life for your own needs. You are a fraud who violated my life and privacy. You used me and showed no consideration for my son. You went back on your promises to fund my fashion business, while you made millions and millions for yourself and others." She then went on to demand that compensation was required and $20,000 was no longer sufficient. So to prevent her from pulling the trigger on this expose, this cancelling of John Doe, the only way to quench her thirst would be to the tune of £10 million, because she was convinced that he was a billionaire entrepreneur, so she could buy a new home with this money, start a business, and put her son through university. With that kind of money, you might also be able to pay for the gas over Christmas. You lucky, lucky cow. John Doe did reply to Jennifer, pointing out he is not a billionaire. He's had a good career, but he doesn't own companies that he works for. He is not a self-made entrepreneur, and that there is a big difference between being a director of a company, him, and the person who owns the company, not him. Continuing by apologizing because she saw him as a billionaire entrepreneur when it should have been obvious that he was not. That should catch us all up to date and allow us to talk about what happened next in the courtroom. Because yes, she got arrested. Shocker, right? Blackmail is quite a serious charge. During the trial, John Doe told jurors, "To say I felt threatened was an understatement. I was really very, very worried and concerned. I didn't have £10 million to give her. I'm very comfortable, well off, but I don't have assets of £10 million. I only had one option, which was to go to the police. I seem to have become a fictional person. I wasn't a billionaire, far from it. She seemed to have no relationship to the reality, and I felt tremendously threatened." Throughout the entire trial, Jennifer was defiant. described as such in all the articles covering her, believing her innocence and that an agreement was made, and thus it should be honored. Orlando Gibbons, the prosecutor, told the hearing that Jennifer threatened to trash the victim's reputation with his family and business associates. And in a statement read to the court, the victim wrote, "Jennifer set out to undermine my life, my work, and happiness through a whole area of false allegations that she intended to make public, unless I transferred to her, under duress, huge sums of money. Lives can be changed and ruined by this. This would have changed both my family life, my business life. It would have changed everything about my life and quite literally turned my life upside down." Jennifer then decided, even though she was defiant even after this all ended, to ask for leniency because she had been sleeping at Heathrow Airport, having been made homeless halfway through the trial. "You still haven't said sorry, so why are you asking for leniency?" But okay. Judge Mr. Ashworth, though, said, "The evidence against you is overwhelming. He offered you £2,000 to sweeten what he understood to be a final break of all links. In fact, all the payment did was cause you to smell blood. You persuaded yourself he was fantastically rich based on your internet research and decided to press him for as much as he could give you." I assume her research was on Wikipedia. "You contacted lawyers and tried to bring what was a ludicrous lawsuit against him. When that failed, you resolved to calculated and cold blackmail. He offered you the £20,000 you had demanded before, a total capitulation. But even this did not prove enough for you, and sensing weakness, you pressed your demand to the hilt and asked for £10 million. Jennifer was subsequently found guilty. Shocker, right? Blackmail doesn't exactly endear you to the courts, and for somebody that has been proven, which was later confirmed with her childhood being embellished, to have inflated stories a considerable amount, Judge Ashworth sentenced her to 3.5 years in prison, along with an indefinite restraining order protecting John Doe from Jennifer's wrath. What a lovely end to the story. This could have been Halls of Injustice light, but I think instead it's just another lovely little story. Upbeat, happy ending for another scummy individual that thinks they are above the law. Also, she's appealing because she believes her innocence. Good luck with that, Jennifer.